Okay, it is May 2nd. My friends Steve and Judy have been married for 1 year. Last year I flew to New York and I was the best man in Steve's wedding, and I wrote this piece for them that I performed at said wedding. It is really long and I'm going to try to squeeze it in right here, sort of as a gift to them and as a gift to everybody. And let's see if I can do this within the time allotted. I'm just wasting time right now. A hope flask, 2 hearts, a love letter. They say in order to remember someone's name, you should repeat it both in your head and out loud. We never had one of those awkward moments in which I had to ask you for your name again, because I practiced both syllables relentlessly like a toddler, learning how the exhaled air from his lungs moves his vocal cords to make sound push through the shape of his mouth to bend into words that say, keep me, that say yes, that say, when I first saw you, the hollows of my chest rung with a hum as if every horn section in this hemisphere suddenly felt the need to exhale. In that moment, the fingers of my right hand plucked the hair on my left arm, expecting to hear the chords of a perfectly tuned acoustic guitar and a slow dance. Instead, I felt the pinch of my fingers pulling skin and hair and realized this moment was really happening, and it was everything. I had no choice but to put my big boy pants on, prep myself for the long term, and fully breathe you in. Your name wrote itself on the oxygen particle. Wrote itself on the oxygen particles that took to my lungs in the cursive patterns of breath that gave me life that day. You gave me life that day. Into my vocabulary you were born, a sensation of something hovering in my chest where there once was only room for heartburn or heartache. Your presence took shape, as if I swallowed a dozen fortune cookies, whole, and they all came true at once. In bed. I don't know who writes these things, but the one I have in my wallet reads, you have the ability to sense and know higher truth, which means the one you have in your wallet must read, you are a higher truth. Either way, you're a fortune, and I found you, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared that I maybe might not know what I'm doing with this life, and it is then when I look down and see your hand holding my hand, and yes! This is what all those John Hughes movies are about. The first time we kissed, I felt like a boy who never knew what to do with the good things when he got them. I collected medals that marked occasions, but I never knew how to be the occasion until we overcame the distance between the windy city and the city that never sleeps without comparing big apples to deep dishes. We sang, we danced, we broke things, darling. We broke things. We broke rules and habits, and even on the odd days, what it comes down to is I could successfully live without most things in this life because you taught me how to show up in the now with a certain kind of patience that has carried me happily into recognizing you are adventurous and inspiring and supportive and humorous and sensible, and you're here with me. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. I have been told that if you walk the length of the Brooklyn Bridge just before dusk with a hope flask, 2 hearts, and a love letter written in your lungs, you will witness the very fine and flexible line where land ends and water begins. I have been told in no uncertain terms, if you listen closely, you will hear at some point in that delicate boundary a moment when water says to land, don't worry, I've got this. And another moment at which land says to water, don't worry, I'm here for you. When we lay ear to ear across the length of the floor and listen to the ocean in each other's head, when we drink hot chocolate from wine glasses, when I do that hand gesture as if I'm holding up an invisible camera accompanied by a clicking noise, and I blink one eye and you laugh that adorable laugh that's reserved for me in the comfort of the trust we've built, that moment we all want it over and over and over and over again, that moment when we look into someone else's eyes and everything fades around us, all the ocean in our heads crashes into a calm with the other person, with the other set of eyes saying, don't worry, I'm right here. I don't know who writes these things, but I wrote this for you. It's my name, and I want you to have it.